Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and I went to the auto show this week, looked at a bunch of cars. The vehicle we're looking at today is the new Toyota 4Runner. This one is a TRD Sport. I also showed another Tacoma and then a Tundra at the end of the video as well. Anyways, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Taking a look at the new 4Runner, let's quickly talk about powertrain. Same as the Tacoma, so turbo 2.4 liter 4-cylinder hybrid and non-hybrid. Both paired to an 8-speed. The non-hybrid, 278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. The hybrid, 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is going to be somewhat similar to the Tacoma, maybe a little bit higher. It depends on the trim package, right? Whether you do SR5 or TRD Pro. This one's a TRD Sport. You notice a lot of carryover from the Tacoma. Now, you can see the air dam there at the bottom, fog lights. A lot of people have been suggesting to me that, yes, this is built in Japan, so it's going to be better built than the Tacoma. This is a prototype vehicle, so understand that this is not full production, so it's not going to be quite as nice as a full production. But, it pretty much looks like full production. It doesn't look like it's any different from the Tacoma in terms of build quality, just so that you guys all know. Again, it's still built in Japan, right? So it's got that going for it. But it still has the same plasticky kind of look and feel as the new Tacoma, which, I don't know. I just haven't been all that impressed with it. And so kind of my take that I quickly want to say as we're looking at this new 4Runner is I think the Land Cruiser is the one to get if you're going to upgrade from a 5th gen 4Runner, because it's the one that feels like it actually has decent build quality and all of that. I know some of you might disagree because you don't want the hybrid, but there's my 2 cents. But yeah, the interior is a straight carryover from the Tacoma with the gauge cluster, the steering wheel, the big infotainment system, the knobby climate controls, the shifter, all of it straight out of the Tacoma. The seats, the glove box. So the glove box still does the little wiggle thing, right? So you've got all of that is completely identical. Solid rear axle, just like the new Tacoma. The interesting thing to see will be the ride quality with this, because it is a shorter wheelbase than the Tacoma. Again, same exact wheelbase, same dimensions as the new Land Cruiser, but it's going to have different suspension in terms of shocks and everything in the Land Cruiser. So I'm interested to see the ride quality of the 4Runner, compare that to the Tacoma. I don't think it's going to be bad. It'll just be interesting to see how it kind of does with SUV formatting. The rear end, I think, is the best looking part of the new 4Runner. I'm not a fan of the front end styling personally. The rear end, I think, especially with the taillights, looks really good. Try to show you guys the cargo area as best as I could. It's big. So, basically and again, this one's a non-hybrid. So if you get the non-hybrid, you're going to get a big cargo area that doesn't have the battery sticking up like the Land Cruiser. But I'm pretty sure with the hybrid, it's up. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how they formatted it, pretty much the same. Still, again, like I said, cool looking taillights. You notice that you can roll the window up and down just like the 5th gen 4Runner. So they kept that. And I guess the Land Cruiser has a manual rear window, so that'll be something that some of you might like or not. Too much window tint in the back for me to show you. Trying here, guys. But, overall, it's not bad looking. I just think I personally prefer, since the Land Cruiser is the same exact vehicle, I prefer the styling on that a little bit more. And like I said, the interior build quality is a lot better. I do like how they did the exhaust tip. It's much better than the Tacoma, how this just sticks out where the Tacoma doesn't. It draws down quite a bit. So I thought that was a good thing on the new 4Runner, but definitely a nice first look. Now, I also included in this video this concept thing that Toyota did. It looks like they built out a TRD Pro, basically, and I thought it was a cool looking truck, and you guys might want to see it. I didn't want to do a dedicated video on it because I don't think this will ever be a full production car. Again, maybe I'm wrong on that, but cool with the light bar there. You can see the giant lights down below. You've got the painted recovery points, of course, skid plate protection, and 35s, if I remember right. These are 35-inch tall tires, bigger wheels, which I thought was kind of interesting. Not huge, though. But you can see the suspension, upper control arms. It's obviously lifted, but I don't know exactly how much they modified everything. And you can see you got the TRD Pro interior. And they put the racing harness with the seats, which was kind of cool. And also kind of shows me, it's not going to be factory, but you got the chase rack there with the lights up top. Really cool look with that. And then you can see the Fox suspension there in the rear. Really knobby tires, by the way, of course. But yeah, 35s. Pretty crazy seeing 35s on a Tacoma. But it shows you how easy it is to put big tires on the new Toyotas. That is one benefit of these new Toyotas over the old ones. You can put big tires on easily. And yeah, it does have leaf springs. Thought that was interesting. that they changed that out with it, but you know, sometimes those are better for Baja running in terms of reliability and what they can handle compared to multi-link. Spare tire there on the bed as well, which was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I mean, definitely not the most practical thing, but cool for off-roading, right? If you like off-roading, you like that. And the last one is this Tundra. So basically just show you guys this little rack. I see this in Utah all the time for people that do these like kind of overlanding builds with a full-size pickup truck. So just thought you guys would want to see it. Kind of a cool idea to be able to store stuff there on the side, but then not add too much wind noise or too much weight to a full-size pickup truck. But either way, let me know you guys think about the new 4Runner. Well, now that we're actually getting up and going, compression through that little bump there, pretty darn solid. Seats are comfortable. I will say they're not as couch-like as like the Escalade seats, but they're comfortable enough. They're a little bit, they're not uncomfortably firm, but there's definitely some firmness to them. Massage seat function, it's nice. This has a lot of screen, but I will say, although I'm not a huge screen person, I'd rather have this than the Escalade's giant, like whatever. This dash is definitely, I'd say, more aesthetically pleasing to look at. The Escalade's just overwhelming as can be. And the interesting thing about this inline six is, unlike BMW's inline sixes, this, although it has a lot of torque, you gotta rev this engine out a little bit more. It develops the power a little bit higher up. It's kind of interesting. Doesn't feel slow at all though. And noise insulation's good. And the ride quality really does shine with this. So that's another nice part. And we will, nope. Because we'll be able to get up and move, but now we will. It's very smooth. I would say that this inline six twin turbo is smoother than the V8 or the diesel that you can get in the GM cars, and it's definitely smoother than the V6 and the Ford. The V6 and the Ford's not smooth. It's not bad though, but it's just not smooth. It's really hard to beat an inline six. Yeah, this engine's wonderful. It's got tons of power, and you don't really feel it. That's the thing that's nice about the engine. That's what you want in a luxury vehicle. You don't really feel the